This is the story of Noah Scurry.
This is Noah Scurry. He was a 17-year-old high school basketball star and a standout student who was killed earlier this week. It was reported by the Philadelphia Inquirer that he had the highest SAT score in his entire school when he took it. A student at Samuel Fells High School, his principal described him as gifted. In a letter to the school's families, they confirmed that he was a talented student athlete. It was around 7:15 a.m. on January 14th. The 17-year-old was leaving for school when he was gunned down, according to the Philadelphia police, as reported by Fox 29.
Philadelphia police say a 17-year-old was shot and killed along Rohrer Street in the city's Feltonville section. It happened around 7:15 this morning.
Over 20 shell casings were found at the scene. It was reported by the news that he was with his mother when he was shot, as if they were about to get into the car for her to drop him off across town at school. Authorities recovered a white Jeep Cherokee on Wednesday morning, the next day abandoned near Summerdale and Godfrey Avenues, approximately 2 miles from where Noah Scurry's home on Rohrer Street in Feltonville, where the deadly shooting took place. According to Deputy Commissioner Frank Venor, the vehicle appeared to have been damaged in the crash. Investigators are currently reviewing additional surveillance footage in hopes of piecing together the events that led to Scurry's death. While no suspects have been named and no motive has been determined, law enforcement officials are working tirelessly to identify the perpetrators. Surveillance footage suggests that at least 2 individuals were inside the Jeep during the shooting. The details of Noah Scurry's final moments paint a grim picture. He had just grabbed his backpack and was stepping into his mother's car when he was ambushed by a barrage of gunfire.
17-year-old basketball star with a bright future, hammered down in front of his mother on his way to school. That's where we're at.
20 bullets were fired, as I said, and Noah Scurry was struck multiple times in the chest and abdomen. Despite being rushed to Jefferson Einstein Hospital, he was pronounced dead within minutes. Family members, friends, and classmates were devastated by the sudden and senseless loss. A GoFundMe campaign launched by his cousin seeks to help cover funeral expenses. In her heartfelt message, she described Noah as a bright, loving young man with a heart full of kindness. Noah, only 17 years old, had such a...
My name is Brianna McGlynn, and I'm making this GoFundMe on behalf of my cousin and aunt who just suffered a tragic loss. Megan and Kathy Dipple have suffered the most traumatic events one could ever imagine. First, Kathy losing 2 children. Megan's siblings has fought time and time again and showed up to the Supreme Court against the man trying to escape the unaliving penalty who's responsible. But now, early morning, January 14th, Megan's beloved son and Kathy's grandson's life was taken on his way to school. Noah, only 17 years old, has such a caring and loving heart. He would do anything for his family, but most of all his siblings. He was one of the top students in his school, achieving the highest score on the SAT college placement test out of his entire grade. He had such a clever mind with such an infectious smile. His love for basketball was always with him. Ever since he was a young kid, he was playing on the school's basketball team, being scouted for colleges. Only 17 years old, with so much life ahead of him. Please let's come together in such a tragic moment for this family who's been dealing with nothing but grief and heartache, and help Megan and Kathy give Noah the burial he deserves.
Tributes and condolences have poured in across social media, where friends expressed their grief and shared memories of the team. "Speechless, I love you," one friend posted alongside photos of Noah Scurry. At Samuel Fells High School, where Scurry excelled both academically and athletically, the loss has been profoundly felt. He was known for his sharp intellect and athletic prowess, which the news heavily focused on shortly after his passing. Scurry was an advanced placement, or AP student, the highest SAT scorer in his school, and a standout point guard on the basketball team. Monique Braxton, a spokesperson for the school district, said that Noah was the kind of student that everyone wants. Noah Scurry's social media was filled with basketball highlight reels that showcased his skills on the court, where he effortlessly crossed over defenders, executed smooth layups, and nailed three-point shots. His undeniable talent was matched only by his bright future, a future now tragically cut short. The broader context of Noah Scurry's death is part of the Philly daily reminder of a persistent gun violence plaguing the city.
Philadelphia police say a 17-year-old was shot and killed along Rohrer Street in the city's Feltonville section. It happened around 7:15 this morning. That's where we find NBC 10's Matt DeLucia live at the scene. What do we know about the victim, Matt, and any suspects in this case?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Johnny, homicide investigators are still here at the scene. They've been here all morning. You can see the tape is still up, and the shooting itself happened in this narrow driveway behind the 5,000 block of Rohrer Street. This is just off the boulevard. And as you mentioned, this happened around 7:15 this morning. Police showed up here. They found the 17-year-old who had been shot several times throughout his body. The young man was rushed to Einstein, and he died just after 7:30. Now, earlier, we could see a backpack and a shirt laying on the street. But as of right now, police have not made any arrests, but they did find a gun out here. And as investigators are going through this area, they're also going door to door, trying to get some surveillance video, trying to get some idea of who may have pulled this trigger and killed the 17-year-old right as the sun was coming up here along Rohrer Street.
This younger generation are idiots. Sorry he lost his life. Could have easily been avoided. If it could have been easily avoided, why wasn't it? Like, Higgins just be making comments here. Hear one part of a story and just run with it. He stated in his song he already been shot, and that's why he was going about shit the way he was. And not everybody want to be what y'all failed to be. Some Higgins do shit to appease their parents until they can live on their own. All right, these are people's comments. Telling the news stories or commenting on the news stories saying, come on, man, keep it thorough. Let's really talk about it. Keep it a bean. Noah really CC Parkside. But they had internal beef, and he split with the Parkside. But I don't know.
If people like myself and THF Philly weren't around, this would have been the end of the story. By the day of Noah's death, as is all too clear by now, 17-year-old star student athletes aren't just executed in front of their moms for no reason. There's always a story behind it that the news is reluctant to give for political or social reasons. If you just got your news from the Philadelphia Inquirer or NBC, then the story is almost always missing context. Due to social media, traditional mainstream media was forced to double back the next day and say, hey, there's a little more to the story here. 30 years ago, this would have never happened, and the story would have been left there.
Noah Scurry, student athlete seen in rap video day before his unaliving.
30 years ago, this would have never happened, and the story would have been left at that. There was no Instagram to correct the news or YouTube for people like me to make a story with a little more context.
Law enforcement sources are telling me they believe Noah Scurry appeared in a rap video with guns that was posted to social media the day before he was killed. New tonight, law enforcement sources confirm there is a rap video uploaded to social media the day before 17-year-old Noah Scurry was shot to death behind his home.
66-year-old man is dead and 3 teens are hurt following a shooting last night in Frankfurt. It happened just before 9:30 on the 4600 block of Mulberry Street. The man who died has been identified as Ivan Hall from Philadelphia. 3 15-year-old boys are in stable condition after being shot. Police have not given any more details on what may have led to the gunfire. As of yet, no arrests have been made.
Police sources confirmed Noah Scurry was one of 4 people shot in an unsolved May 2023 murder case on the 4600 block of Mulberry Street in Frankfurt. According to police, 66-year-old Ivan Hall was shot and killed on Sunday, May 28, 2023, and 3 then 15-year-olds were shot multiple times. Police sources said that Noah Scurry was one of the teens. This shooting places Noah smack dab in the middle of Frankfurt, a section of the city that hosts sets like the Double C's or Certified Clappers and Parkside. Noah is said to be affiliated with Parkside. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not a Philly gangologist like some people like to believe, nor do I want to be. But from what I can gather, you got a few groups relevant to this story. According to the person who made this map, this is Parkside or Double C territory. Up here is a group of young boys who call themselves the Whackers, and over here is M24 territory. And as you can see, this is where YNG Cheese was killed. Noah, or Baby Joker, his street nickname, was very active out here, and his life had a part that may not have been known to his coaches and family. Less than a month after Noah was shot and a 66-year-old man was killed, another tragedy struck near the area when 25-year-old Devin Spady was killed.
Listen, man, if you're a parent, man, don't ignore the fucking signs. Kid's in some shit, he's getting shot up. It might be time to fucking intervene and do something. Because they're going to sell that story to the news stations about, oh, he was so amazing, when it's like, did you check him once, or did you just keep enabling him to go out there and wild the out?
A triple shooting in Philadelphia's Olney section claimed the life of an up-and-coming musician. The 25-year-old rap artist was known as YNG Cheese, and he's the son of well-known influencer Gillie Da King.
Gillie Da King has amassed millions of followers, and a lot of them are...
For those who don't know who Gillie is a Philly legend, founder of Major Figures, and responsible for, I think, penning many early Lil Wayne joints, stuff that made him hot, and podcaster with his cousin Wallow that served 20 years in prison, came out of prison and started a $30 million podcast, right? $1 million worth of game. In Philadelphia, like they just said, Gillie's son was unalived. People were talking crazy, like, yo, it's the Illuminati. It's the only way he get the $30 million deal and blah, 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 blah. So let's get to the connection here, because it all comes to the light eventually.
Next week for Gillie Fest. It's a big concert. He uses his platform to speak out against violence, and now violence has claimed the life of his son. Police say Devin Spady, better known as YNG Cheese, was one of 3 people shot in the 5800 block of Masher Street in Olney Thursday night. Shot in the back, the 25-year-old rapper was a rising star and the son of one of Philadelphia's biggest stars, Gillie Da King. Gillie Da King is a rapper turned podcaster turned philanthropist. He and his $1 million worth of game podcast partner Wallow also helped give away millions of dollars to support local businesses, and both were awarded the key to the city.
Gillie and Wallow have become the unofficial mayors of the city of Philadelphia. How about that, right? They are the voice of the youth.
Talent agent Walt Reeder Jr. has known Gillie Da King for years and knows he wanted more for his son. The other 2 people who were shot with YNG Cheese both survived. Police have not made any arrests in the case. In Spring Garden, Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News. Shari?
Yeah, very shocking story to learn of.
As is well known, Spady, or Cheese, is the son of comedian and Philly rap legend Gillie. Cheese's death came after him and a group of friends were apparently standing on a corner when shots rang out on the 5800 block of North Masher Street near Nedrow. Around the corner, police also found a 28-year-old man shot twice in the leg and drove him to Einstein. A third victim, a 31-year-old shot in the hip, arrived at the hospital in a private car. Video from the scene shows that a group of men were having a conversation on the corner of Nedrow and Masher when they heard gunshots and started running. No arrests were ever made in this case. No one took credit for this, as obviously that will open up a huge can of worms.
Get back, how about come catch you a body? Catch a nigga on the floor.
You know what I'm saying? How about you come catch a body? Guess what, Papas?
Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
They caught you in the morning with your backpack and your Uncrustable and your Lunchable, or mommy taking you to school, and they turned your TV off and could have smoked your mama easily, because you want to run around and just smoke everybody for no reason. Again, it ain't just this story. This is happening millions of people all over the place. Gang shit all day long. It's crazy. But all that tough shit, come get you a body, they did. They came to collect. Noah had the highest SAT score in his class while allegedly having 6 to 10 bodies in the street. Noah Scurry revealed to be the one who unalived Gillie the Kid's son, Cheese, in 2023. So that SAT basketball kid took Gillie's son's life.
When black people get money, you had to do the Illuminati. You had to sell your soul. So you had to sacrifice your son, right, in order to stay in good graces and keep this paper coming in.
Now that we know one of the kids that was responsible for murdering my son, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the Illuminati came to a 16-year-old kid that's in high school
Mm-hmm.
and said, yeah, we need you to kill Gilly's son for Illuminati purposes. See how idiotic this shit sounds?
Mm-hmm.
That as a black man, you can't just work hard.
No.
And put the work in every day, and blessings come from that. That you got to come from somewhere else.
Right.
So I don't pay that shit no mind, man.
Have you met the kid? Have you talked to the kid that took your son's life?
Nah, I never met him. Only reason why I know is because the police called me and told me once he was murdered. Once he got, because the kid had just got shot 17 times. He was walking with his mom.
Oh.
And he got murdered. And then the police notified me and let me know that he was one of the kids that was pretty much about to get locked up for the murder, but he got murdered first. So, and then, you know, when you do something in the streets know. So, you know, they all on Instagram and they talk, and then, you know, apparently this kid name was the Joker, and, you know, that's what he did, so, you know. But he had to deal with God, you know, that's how I look at it.
So then, from there, Shannon goes on with the conversation. Gillie done laid it out for him. Illuminati, what? Illuminati went and sent a 16-year-old after my son? Shannon goes on to the rest of the conversation about Charleston White and the disparaging things that he said about Gillie's son and the whole Illuminati shit. And then the conversation went to that, and then it got to this. And this is where that look on Gillie's face, but to me that look was more like, motherfucker, you didn't just hear me tell you?
I just read, I saw about the 17-year-old basketball player, straight A student. Am I wrong, Gillie? It used to be like the athletes, they got protected.
Right.
Nobody touched them. Hey, he good now. He gonna be what we, you know, they're gonna be talking about the block. He from the block, he got out. They protected those guys. What happened?
That's who killed my son.
The 17?
Yeah. The 17-year-old basketball player that just got shot 17 times?
Yes.
That's who killed my son.
Really?
Yes.
What was that about?
Well, it wasn't for my son.
Your son happened to be there?
Yes.
Oh.
Them blocks is beefing. They going through it. My son just so happened to pull up out there 5 minutes. They come to shoot the block up. My son's not from that block. He don't, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just so happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
What the?
That's how deep it is.
Bro,
He fucked Shannon's head all up. Because Shannon just heard him tell him. They caught one of them. Shannon already had this talking point in his list about a 17-year-old basketball player. Yeah, he looked at him. Gillie looked at him like, we just had this conversation. Yeah, that's the dude we talking about.
He has the potential to get out.
Right.
And he living that life?
No. But see, you don't understand. He got videos out where he got a Joker mask on.
Right.
Bunch of guns in his hand. So these kids is influenced by all the wrong things.
Right.
That's it. All the good he was doing didn't matter. There was power. I gave you power. Nas wrote about it. Famous Nas song. Basketball wasn't enough. Good grades wasn't enough. SATs wasn't enough. Mommy wasn't enough. The power he got. Something diabolical in that. Where's it coming from? Is it rap? If it's rap, then why ain't it movies? If it's movies, why ain't it this, that, or the other? He didn't want to get out that life. I don't know that there's a get out. I think he was simultaneously living those lives. I think that's simultaneously who he was. He was both. Those guys exist. I've known those guys. But this power trip to another level.
To shit that don't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
To shit that once upon a time when I was growing up in the ghetto, I was influenced by.
Yeah. And it be the ones that they mad emotional, soft, that power, something else, like Aaron Rodriguez.
When you experience things, when you go places, when a vacation to you is not going through a toll booth. See, you got to understand, if you from Philly right now, go to Atlantic City and you call them and they say they out of town. Yo, I'm OT, I hit you, nigga, you 45 minutes away, nigga, you went through the toll booth. The f*** are you talking about? That's how poor the city is.
Right.
Motherfucker go to Atlantic City and
yeah, threw Shannon off. The fact that they were just talking about it and it didn't add up, and then on top of that, dang, you telling me this? That this kid that I'm looking at, that I'm saying, this kid was, had a way out. Shannon didn't even know that kid. Shannon was buying the story that he heard on the news. Good kid, SATs, all that shit. Police department knew he was unalive, and why wasn't he arrested when the police wanted him arrested? The police wanted him to, I don't know. Again, there's still three other guys out there. Maybe they didn't know until after the fact. Maybe they didn't know until they searched his room or this or that. I don't know. There could be a million different variables that we ain't seeing.
tell you, yo, I'm OT, I'll call you when I get back.
Right.
You 39 minutes away in a car, nigga. What are you talking about, you OT? So you gotta understand.
Right.
That's what we grow up in. These kids don't know no better.
Right.
These kids actually think that you can't make it as a rapper unless you killed somebody. Unless you did something out here in these streets.
And I heard Buddy on Math Hoffa say, you know, Kool G Rap talked about 1 million hammers. He ain't take a bunch of lives. You got to separate the art from the life, and these kids ain't doing it. Gang banging and the streets and hammers and scrapping and cutting, that ain't new. That didn't start with hip hop. That been around since the beginning of time, all right? If the human skull was softer than the human hand, we'd have been annihilated a long time ago by our own human hands. He needed a present parent. I don't know. Mama was taking him to school in the morning. He might have had one. I think he just needed a present parent figure in his life to help him get out of that life so sad. I don't know that that's it. I think that that's just what he was. And this is just a lesson in knowing that. Now, did she ignore red flags? Maybe so. Because it wasn't like there weren't any. He was getting shot. I'm sure he was getting locked up. Kid with a lot of potential, with a lot to lose. And he lost it. And then some.
This is the mindset.
Yeah. Why is the rap, why is that glamorized? Why is going to jail, or I pull that iron out, I put that stick on something, why is that glamorized?
And what I would add to what Gillie said is...
So, I just wanted to give y'all a taste of a couple of things, you know? The same way that these people paint that... Mind you, that kid had one side of him that was a good kid. Had another side of him that was rotten. Right? Unfortunately, at such a young age. But they told you one story. They didn't tell you the other side. And they painted a pretty picture and everybody felt it in their heart. Oh. And people say, oh, look, then you see the truth. You see the truth, see? They be lying. Everybody's but that's the same thing they do for your politicians. They could paint it however you want in the media. That's the same way they do with all kind of stories. The same way the wrong person is glorified in movies and TV most of the time. So I just wanted to show you that, you know, you might see one thing, but it could be another. And everybody's quick with their judgments and quick with their hypothesis, and at the end of the day, a second thought hasn't been put to it, you know? That kid had a dark cloud around him and some serious shit going on with him. And again, his mother could have lost her life, another sibling, you know, could have been anybody. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. And I want to show you one more thing on this story. This is the video that supposedly got him spotted, kind of doxed, where they picked up his location. This is a little kid. You're about to see a different person than what you saw behind that mask in the video.
This viral TikTok video of Noah Scurry, aka JokerOTV, was allegedly how his ops found the location of his house and killed him in the same alleyway. This viral TikTok video of Noah Scurry, aka JokerOTV, was allegedly...
That would have got you a violation back in the day, video like that. But that's it, that's a little kid, man.
How his ops found the location of...
Fuck you out there shooting at each other for. You want to do TikTok videos, go do fucking TikTok videos. You could have made money there. You had a future. You had zero excuses. Why? You had a way out on its way. All you had to do was hold on. You couldn't. So there it is. Watch your kids. Look out for the red flags. Pay attention. Get the info. Never believe everything you see. They rather it look like success on the internet than be success in real life.